welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. It's been a bit. It's been, I'm pretty sure it's been about a week ever since I talked to you all live. Of course, I did miss the post-game show for PAOK, given that I was there, but I hope you all enjoyed the vlog. A lot of you are new because of the vlog. The vlog got some traction, so for those of you that are listening for the first time, I want to welcome you personally. And I just want to remind you that you can hop on freely on the show. The link always on solo shows is in the comments. Anything you may need is down below in the description. All the socials are there, and there will be something added this week. I'm working hard on something in the background. And in general, this is a judgment free zone. This is run by and for the fans. And any opinions welcome, any questions welcome. You can message me, comment, or do absolutely anything. So I hope you enjoy your stay. Before I get into the game, and a very unique argument that someone brought up that I may even begin to start with, I'll first give a general introduction to the game, and if I may get into it immediately, I think. I wanted to say that as I foreshadowed uh, a bit before, I am working on finalizing some stuff. So heading into the summer, some details are getting fixed. The link tree of the show now contains everything part I think I'm working on. The Patreon will finally be finalized and the first piece of content will be up there, if not this week, the next one. And there is one more thing I'm working on, which is the most important thing in branching this show out, in sharing the show. And I am very, I'm working in the details a lot because this will get a lot of you guys involved as well. So I want it to be as perfect as possible. So within this week, I am very hopeful in managing to fix up and get a new announcement out and get a whole new chapter of this show. You'll know what it is very soon. And as we get more into the summer, of course, this week's focus will full on be on the cup final that I will attend. I have said that I did find myself fatigued, so if possible, I'll gather as much content as I can, of course, and get up a vlog for you all, for you to hopefully love as much as you love the vlog from the fiesta. That's about it from all the shameless promotion. Let's slowly but surely get into the game. Of course, Panathinaikos Olympiakos, a derby that was unimportant when it came to the table, but very important because it's a derby of eternals. It's a game that you always want to win, and we did come out and win it. It was a great tale of two halves because the first half was very poor in many aspects, while in the second half, especially after the 60th, in which the goal was scored after the penalty was converted, we kept pressuring more and more, and I honestly thought that the second goal was gonna be inevitable, but honestly, not meant to be, as it seemed. I'm not mad at it. We still got the win, but I did believe that we could have even gotten something more out of this game. Not complaining though, not complaining in the slightest. We ended the Super League campaign as we should. We ended it as champions. We ended it comfortably. I'm pretty sure we have one of, if not the best defense in the league. We certainly have the best goddamn goalkeeper in the league, but we'll get into that in a bit. And yeah, as few negatives as there are to be gathered from today's game, there are a lot of positives heading into Saturday. And honestly, I can't wait for Saturday. Not only personally, but celebrating a double after, of course, the momentum we got from last season's historic achievement and adding to Mendilibar's legacy here. I feel like it isn't gonna just be the peak. It's gonna just propel us into just greater and greater and greater heights under Mendilibar. And knock on wood, right? And as I said, there will be a season roundup after the cup final as well. I am hopeful to get a season roundup up next Sunday or Monday, that is. And yeah, honestly, it's one of the very, very few times where I am very hopeful coming into the summer, knowing we have UCL football guaranteed should bring a much greater and much easier planning transfer wise. And honestly, I am more than happy about what's to come. Will I be proven right? Will I be proven wrong? Only God knows. Now, um, getting into the lineup, it's it's a formation that honestly I don't know if it will ever truly work for Olympiacos. Of course, we played with 4-4-2 or a 4-3-2 if you so wish to take it like that. With Jolakis, 106, Ortega, Pirola, Biancon, and Costinha being the back line. Palma, Garcia, Mozakitis, and Chiquinho, and of course the two attackers being Ayub, El Kabi, and Roman Yarmchuk. A mix of performances, uh, mostly good, some indifferent, very few bad, in my opinion. And honestly, I don't blame Mendilibar for wanting to try out something different in a game that didn't wouldn't really change much even if the worst case scenario came up. But Christ, does this formation not want to work for Olympiacos? This formation, I don't think is ever gonna work. El Khabi and Yaremchuk, as amazing as they are on their own, will never, we will never really see the best out of them when they are on the pitch together from the beginning and both playing as forwards, of course, because we have seen Yaremchuk behind El Khabi and that's worked perfectly. But yeah, as amazing as they are on their own as units, their role is class when they're playing in this 4-4-2, 4-3-2 formation, and the positives just spill on the side sometimes, and we're losing a lot of stuff from both of them as a majority, at least for the majority of the game, as we mostly saw in that first half. The first half was weird because I can sit here and say that the first half was disappointing, but it wasn't. The first half was disappointing offensively, sure, but I can't really say much about the defense because there wasn't much of a complaint defensively wise. We'll get to Jolakis in a bit, as I said, but I want to touch on maybe the main complaint, uh, given everyone talked about it, and that's the left hand side. I know Palma will probably never play for Olympiacos again. I know that probably was his final game for Olympiacos, as the rumors are stirring around that Olympiacos have already informed the club that they will not pay the buyout clause that Celtic has said on the loan. But that brings me to a new question, and that's why did he play today? I get that there was rest needed for Saturday. I get that today perhaps was a last chance, that today was a goodbye, maybe. But I said it, and it was my only quote unquote complaint about the lineup because you can't really sit here and complain about the lineup in a game like this. I would have much rather Papaganellos get more minutes than Palma play so much of the game. I know it was impossible for Papaganellos to start, but say you want to start Palma, give Papaganellos a half. That's my only, again, quote unquote complaint uh, on Mendilibar's choices. Now, the fact that Palma's performance was very underwhelming is a different story. And the main negative from this whole different story is that there was no help defensively. On the defensive end, Ortega had to cover the whole side, which led to Ortega being caught out in a lot of plays, which led to Ortega having some minor mistakes here and there. I don't think Ortega was bad today, but this left side, not Palma specifically, but Ortega with a winger that doesn't track back should never happen again. It shouldn't, it just shouldn't. And honestly, we'll get into the lineup afterwards, but I don't think I want to see Ortega start on Saturday. I think I want the difference is not much in my eyes, but I think I want Bruno to get the start on Saturday. I think Bruno would fare much better, and worst case scenario, I rather Bruno gets subbed out early because he just couldn't last a full 90, than have a problem down the left from the beginning. But that's a story that Mendilibar knows best, and that's a story that me and all of us can only just predict. I think that's the best way to say it. It's honestly something we can all just predict. Yeah, honestly, perfectly said. It's as I opened the show, a win was not necessarily needed today, but a win feels like a must in these games. And honestly, there isn't a win that I can really name against Panathinaikos in the last 7 years ish that's not been scrappy and just full of chaos. Honestly, there isn't a singular game that I can just no, honestly no. Maybe that win in the COVID era with a goal from, I'm pretty sure it was Cafu that scored, but that's maybe the only quote unquote again calm game that I can point out is the words I was trying to remember before against Panathinaikos. Other than that, it's just a ton of chaos. But yeah, that left side was under goddamn whelming. Other than that, the centre back duo I actually liked a lot. I thought both Pirola and Biancon did very well today, with a nudge higher to Lorenzo Pirola. I did talk about this on Twitter while covering the game live. I've said this before on the show. Some people have agreed, some people said that I have exaggerated. I think it's been years ever since we've had such a talented prospect at centre back. I think it's been a lot of years since we've had such a talented prospect at centre back. It's not per chance that there is so much strong interest from half of the Serie A for Pirola. It's not per chance that there is so much talk regarding how Pirola's first call up to the Italian national team is very, very close and probably in the next national break. And it's not per chance that half of Europe's eyes are on Lorenzo Pirola. As with all of our squad, I am hoping and praying that we keep him for at least one more season so he can sign in the Champions League. Hopefully stay, but even if he doesn't, I want him to play Champions League with us. I want him to sign to show his full potential at the top level and then go. Because as with everyone, it's gonna be a win-win in any scenario. Because he either stays, signs in the UCL, goes to one of the top clubs in Europe, and we get an an insane price for him, given he's an Italian centre back, or he still plays well in the UCL and he stays, and we have our defensive base for the next 2 3 years because Pirola can easily grow to be the best defender that this club has currently, of course, I mean, because that in general is a whole different story. And along with Panos Retsos, honestly, it's one of the best defensive duos that I can recall on paper, at least, because I've said it that I think that the defensive duo that will lead us into next season is Pirola and Retsos. And honestly, again, as much of of a stretch as it may be, as it may end up being, either or, even if Carmo somehow stays, I want to at least start the season with Pirola Retos. I want to see how that goes. I want to see that in pre-season. I want to see how they fare together. I want to see the chemistry that they have already shown. And if needs be, and either Carmo stays or someone better comes, Pirola can fight for his minutes as he did this season, and I'm sure he'll get more than enough as he did this season. Because mind you, Pirola didn't come to be a starter. He's been a revelation. He's honestly been a revelation. And honestly, his two tackles today, one in the first half coming in from the side to just kill that 1v1 chance that Swiderski had, and one in the second half Again on Swiderski, where he has a clear shot from the side and Pirola slides in, sends it into the post and out for a corner. They were mesmerizing. It's it's Italian defending. That certainty, that strength. It's the definition of Italian defending. I hope that makes sense. I really do. Uh, and Biancon had a cold meh game. The main thing that I want to point out about Biancon and why I love him so incredibly much and vouch that he deserves to be a backup solution for Olympiacos because Bianconi, yes, may not be fit to start in this team, but as I said, I think he's one of the best backup solutions that I have ever seen. I think that he is one of the most shit house players that I've ever seen play for this club, and honestly, both on the field and the way he is so passionate about the team, I think he's earned that renewal, and I hope he signs the contract. The moment that when I dives for a penalty, in my opinion, there was contact. In my opinion, it was maybe a foul, but there still is a dive. And the moment that the Panathinaikos fans, quote unquote, because I so gladly wish and hope that I could call them something else, uh, they start screaming and Biancon starts yelling at them and shushing them. That highlight, along with, if I recall, it was against Pauk celebration when he ran the entire field and back to gate 7. He hadn't scored, of course. And that passion that he's shown, added with the way he's improved his game this season, I think if that hasn't earned him the contract, I honestly don't know what can. I honestly don't. Let me see this one. The defending was top notch today, and Jolaitis deserves great credit for some of the saves too. Jolaitis doesn't deserve just credit for those saves. He deserves a goddamn statue. And thank you for this amazing setup. I will put this in the comments actually, if I can. Let me see. Ah, I can't. That's something. Let me actually find it uh, because I think that I can find it really quickly. Someone brought up a thing about Zolakis, an argument, a point about Zolakis that I really want to talk about. And honestly, I think it's an argument that's not that insane. Let me present it to you all since I actually got it. A very good supporter of the show that goes by the name of Ian Smith on Twitter put up this argument. Let me actually read it to you. It's up on the screen for those of you that are watching on YouTube. I don't think that it's crazy to say that he's the best player I've ever seen play for us. In terms of position for position, he's undoubtedly a top 5 10 keeper on earth. We've never had a player that's at that level in that position in my lifetime, in their position. Again, not my take. It's a take that someone commented on Twitter, and I really want to talk about it, and I really want you all to debate in the comments how much you believe that, and I'll cut it into pieces because this is a huge argument to talk about. So, first piece. I don't think that it's crazy to say he's the best player I've ever seen play for us. In terms, of course, of position for position. Position for position means that he is the best to have ever played for us in his position, and regarding his position and each player's position, there hasn't been a better man to do his job in the club, if that makes sense. I am very inclined to agree, but again, I am also 21, so it may be recency bias. There have been a lot of incredible players for their position. There have been a lot of incredible players that have done their job perfectly. Some of the top players in the club, in the club's history, that were built for that role. But Zolakis is up there. I will hesitate to say that position for position wise, he's the best to ever do it for us. But in recent history, I'd say that he's up there for sure. I'd say that he's up there for damn sure. The way he's improved his game ever since he made his debut, all the way back. There you are. Uh, there you are. Okay. I did credit you. So let's talk honestly. And if you want to hop on with me for a few minutes and share your argument, you can find the link to this room in the comment. That was my tweet. I was thinking about who is close to him in my lifetime. The only one that I think was close was maybe Miralas in the 2011-2012 season in terms of star quality, or maybe even El Kabi last season. El Kabi was one that I was gonna bring up because if we're speaking position for position, you have to mention someone that's brought up to be in the conversation of our best striker of all time. So him and El Gabi are the two that are in there for that argument recently, at the very least. Miralas is a very good shout. Miralas is a very good shout, especially speaking of that season specifically. It's such a wild list, and honestly, it makes you realize that the harder it is to form a conclusion on these arguments, it makes you realize how many great players have made their way through this club. How many great players have played and represented and loved this club. So it makes you feel honored in a way. I don't know. Honestly, he's up there for sure. He's up there for sure, but I'm sure that people will name their own 5, 10 people that they think are up there. But honestly, I tend to agree. I'm leaning towards agreeing because I can't bring up many counter arguments. So, as hesitant as I am to put him right on the top spot, I'd say that he's definitely up there. Now, I think that's a goddamn certainty. He's undoubtedly a top 5, 10 keeper on earth. Yes, he's. Zolakis right now starts on most teams on the planet. Zolakis right now starts on most teams, even in the top 5 leagues. He's even statistically the most ready to play for a top five league team that's outside the top five leagues. The teams that he doesn't start for right now are less than a handful. They are for sure less than a handful. And honestly, I don't think that anyone can sit here with a logical mind and say that Solakis isn't top five. I'm not even gonna say 10, top five keepers in the world right now. There are, of course, clear choices for top three, like Donnarumma, for example, who's having the season of a lifetime. But right now, Solakis is top five. And I don't think I can actively hear an argument to that. Other options may be Podence in the first half of the 1920 season or Mitroglou 2013. Both very good shouts again. Both very good shouts again. As with you, I am guessing we are similar ages. I am, of course, too young for the Giovannis and Rivaldos, but I think another one that you can call as an option is, of course, Sorry Dominguez. The Melbergs of this club's history, Melberg, Avram, like they were born for the role and they were amazing at their role. But again, Soulakis is more than for sure up there. I don't think there is a doubt. There is just a very, very long list. But the definite, undoubtable thing is that he is top five in the world right now. And the fact that he has the potential, he is nowhere near his prime yet. And the fact that he is so good already, it makes you think that he can be top three. It makes you think that he's gonna be not only a world class goalkeeper, but if, knock on wood, Jolakis reaches his full potential, he'll be a historic keeper. And I think that he will easily claim the throne of the best goalkeeper and one of the best players that FNK has ever seen and produced, of course. Melberg and Papadopoulos, honestly, they were born for that role. They were born to be just a no-nonsense centre back, a pure stopper. Another one is Torosidis, maybe. Speaking of position for position, Nikopolidis, of course, but two things. Uh, I think, at least for now, Zolakis has a higher ceiling than Nikopolidis, so I'm hesitant to talk about another keeper. And again, too young. I am trying to stick for people that I've seen live. That's why I'm not talking about Giovanni's, Rivaldo's, etc., etc. Of course, I hope that it's just my setup that is lagging. Someone do update me that my audio is okay, if you can. But yeah, that's a wild argument. Honestly, that's a more than wild argument, and it just makes you think that the potential that that this player has is incredible, is unimaginable, and he's gonna have such a wonderful career. Ah, the video is a bit stuttery. Okay. Um, I hope that fixes. Do let me know when it fixes, and I'm glad the the audio is fine. Yeah, my it's just that my Wi-Fi is a bit ruined today, but I still wanted to come on here and talk about the game, of course. Do keep me updated on my on my situation. Uh, yeah, let me actually bring that up. On Zolakis, my only concern is his distribution, as we don't get pressed and play out in the way that top teams do. But his long passing is top. Assist versus Villa last season, Porto offside assist. The assist versus Villa last season is, I think, the best example that you can bring up with how on point Jolakis' uh, passing is. And it wasn't, of course, it wasn't always like that. And it's the thing that has stood out the most, in my opinion, in how much he has improved on his game, how much he has just worked on every detail that he can, how incredibly his progress has already been, and how much it will be. I don't think that the distribution will be that big of an issue. I don't see a way in which uh, he gets outed in that department, if that makes sense. Uh, I don't see a team that's gonna see that as a negative in his eyes, in their eyes for him. I mean, but he's for sure, he's for damn sure gonna get tested on that because, as you said, you don't get pressed like the top teams do. But I think it's safe to say that even if he needs to work on that, he will. And I'm sure that he'll improve on that on the top level that he's improved everything else. Now I think my video is okay. Please give me another update if you can. And speaking on the quality for a bit, to open a parenthesis, there should be an upgrade on my camera from Tuesday onwards. That upgrade that I've been waiting so long for, but that upgrade should finally come Tuesday onwards. I think he'll be fine. Just interested to see how he handles having to play out the back under immense pressure. I think he'll be great, but he's never experienced it and never uh, will playing for us. That's the only bad thing about the Greek League is that it doesn't prepare players for specific scenarios because of how not bad football, how much anti-football some teams play. But the counter argument to that is that now that we are back in the Champions League, I feel like we'll see for the first time properly, at least, how much, not just Jolakis, but now specifically since we're talking about him, how good he can withstand the pressure, how easy he can find solutions, and who knows, maybe with our play style and his pinpoint accuracy on long balls. He may not even need to play out the back so much, and teams pressing us may make it easier for him to find someone up deep, which will most likely be Ayub El Kabi. So it's a mix of scenarios. It's a whole mix of scenarios that I am very interested to see as well. And honestly, I can't wait for next season. I've already said this. I can't wait for the summer, and I can't wait to see what Champions League football and everything brings for especially the younger side of our squad. Now, to get back into the game after that very, very, very nice uh, talk, I don't really want to focus on that much more regarding the game because there isn't that much more to focus regarding the game because not much more happened in the game itself. The thing that I want to more or less focus on is the thing that uh, I know that a lot of people have debated, and it's the thing that I know I have gotten wrong in the past as well, and it's a tweet that I made. It's that I don't know who deserves the bigger apology regarding uh, from the fan base. I don't know if that's Danny Garcia or if that's Roman Yaremchuk, with how crucial they both have been. I don't know if both of them deserves both of them deserve the most massive of apology, but they've been so crucial, especially Roman Yaremchuk. God am I glad he's not gone and God has held his place here. Uh, as far as I am aware, uh, for Danny Garcia, he is gonna renew after the final. Both sides want to continue their partnership. So Danny Garcia is gonna be here and he's gonna be crucial as well next season. And honestly, both of them have surprised me and most of the fans. So honestly, I think we all owe them the biggest of apologies, and I couldn't be happier than both hopefully be here next season. I want to. I don't have that much to touch on regarding the goal because I think the penalty, in my opinion, was clear as day. I think the penalty, in my opinion, should have been given immediately. I don't know why it needed a VAR check, but honestly, that's not something I'm gonna sit and complain on. And the final two things that I wanna touch on are, of course, we talked about Zolakis, but the amount of insane saves he had today are unbelievable. He saved a goddamn ball with his head. With his head. It's the tweet I made. He has been having Spider-Man type performances, and that's you can't overlook that, honestly. But I think we touched on Zolakis enough. The build-up on that, in my opinion, part of the penalty, the best chance of the game, where Chiquinho passes the ball to Yaremchuk, who had amazing runs today. Yaremchuk runs in behind, passes it back to El Kabi, and El Kabi shot barely gets saved. Honestly, I want to see way more of that. And the last thing I want to touch on regarding the game is Mendilibar's so admirable winning mentality. Because even at the 90th minute, he was looking bummed out because the team didn't get a second goal. And that's why I said that hopefully, again, knock on wood, I don't want to underestimate anyone. Winning the double this season is not going to be the peak of our success. It's going to just skyrocket us into better and better things, and just more and more success that we can't even begin to imagine. Now, predicting the lineup, I think today's MVP is more than clear. Zolakis, of course. Predicting the lineup for Saturday is hard, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say a lineup that I more want than think, but we'll see. Which Solak is playing today? I think there is a 50-50 chance on who plays. I think Paschalakis didn't have a ban for today. I think his ban was lifted for today's game, but Zolakis still played. So I don't know if you went with Zolakis to rest Paschalakis for Saturday, or he will go with Zolakis on Saturday. As much as I am for playing with your second keeper in the cup, I would give it to Zolakis. Then I spoke about it. I want Bruno down the left hand side. Pirola Retsos, that's who I want, and that's who I think will start. Down the right, I still want Costinha to keep starting. The midfield too is hard. The midfield too is very hard. I think he's gonna go with Musakitis Garcia again, but I don't think that Ese Garcia is out of the realms of possibility, or even Ese Musakitis. All three duos are there. I would not mind any, but maybe Ese Garcia. So I want Musakitis to start with either one, but I think it will be Musakitis Garcia. Zelson, of course, Zelson, Tiquinho, Babis, hopefully. And then I think that he's going to give the start to Yaremchuk, honestly. I think he's going to stick with starting Yaremchuk in the cup, and El Gabi is going to come on around the 60th, 70th minute. That's about it for my predicted lineup, and that's about it for today's show. Honestly, thank you all for uh, the amazing, incredible argument that brought up today, and the amazing, incredible conversation that was a result of that point made. And I hope my Wi-Fi wasn't too bad. Upgrades in quality hopefully coming on from Monday. I'll keep you all updated, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Very important week coming up. Thank you.